Welcome to Neanderthal. They'll make you walk the line of passion and the divine. Neanderthal. They're gonna talk Neanderthal.
Hello, we're back. Thank you for being here. Who are you?
Kristen with Open the Doors Coaching.
Open the Doors Coaching. How did we even get our paths crossed? Do you know? Because I know. Instagram.
Yeah. I don't. I think I just found your podcast page and started following because I was looking for people that are local that are doing those things. And I don't know. I think we followed each other for a month or two, and then you commented on something, and then kind of went from there.
Yeah, I followed you I think you probably followed me first, and then I followed back. And I saw lots of your posts, and then I remember seeing a post with you and two other females saying something, we're in Kansas City.
We were wellness champions. We're working with Dr. Michelle Robin here in town on a project. Still details to come, but we, the four of us are all associated with Resolve Counseling and Wellness in Prairie Village. And we're participating in a group with Dr. Robin with her Your Wellness Connection and Small Changes, Big Shifts Foundation.
That's a lot of words that I don't know what that stuff really means.
Yeah.
So, like, what can you talk about? There's some stuff you can't.
So one of my big focuses here in town isn't just sexual health; it's overall well-being. And through this group, I think that it's going to be a good way to promote the message of holistic health and well-being. Sexual health being a part of that.
Is that a big part?
For me, it is. That's my passion.
Your passion is sex?
Yes, I'm a relationship, dating, and sex coach. So I say that I help people with their love lives.
When you tell people you're a sex coach, what do men say and what do women say? What are the first things each sex says to you or does, body language wise? Like, what happens?
The first thing that they say, like, you can see the surprise in their face.
Well, from both sexes?
Yes.
Okay.
And it depends upon the context and their age.
Okay.
And where I'm meeting them specifically. I do a lot with some civic organizations here in town, and like one chamber, I say I'm a relationship, dating, and sex coach. And they all usually say, what? And I say, you heard correctly. Whereas at the LGBT chamber, I say I'm a sex coach. And like, oh, yeah, okay, cool, let's talk.
Okay.
And I think that's just because a lot of them have dealt with their sexuality.
Kind of forced
very
into
public
it, yeah.
ways. Yeah. So they're just more open with it. Like last night, I met a gal. A friend of mine introduced me to her, and he called me coach. I was like, I'm kind of still getting used to that, just because that's kind of a very like dude thing to call somebody's like, hey, coach.
What up, coach?
And I looked at him, I was like, I'm still kind of getting used to that, because like guys are probably used to that, but as a lady, I'm just not. And she kind of looked to be funny. I said, that's my business. I'm a coach. And he goes, tell her what kind of coach. And I said, I'm a sex coach. She's like, hi, my name is,
really?
nice to meet you. Let's talk. So a lot of women, especially my age, when I say I'm a sex coach, they're super excited to talk to me and get some advice.
Okay. Am I allowed to say or ask how old you are?
I'm 37.
Okay.
I don't mind telling people my age. I look young, so sometimes I feel like I need to tell people my age, so they'll take me a little bit more seriously.
Oh, yeah. Because they don't want to listen to.
Who cares about I won't say who cares. Younger people, if you're a 25-year-old, like, yeah, you would totally take a 30-year-old's advice. But if you're 45,
would you, though?
I mean, I think so.
Bitches be catty. Bitches be catty, yo.
Bitches be catty, but yes. The thing is,
young bitches be catty.
Sometimes if you're talking about being a coach, your age can definitely help you, because they're wanting you to have a certain amount of life experience before you get out there and start coaching people. Yeah. Which I feel like I do. So I am currently working towards becoming a certified sex coach through Sex Coach U.
This has got to be. I am a very open-minded guy.
Mm-hmm.
I am on the internet a lot.
A lot.
Not a lot, a lot. I do try to monitor it.
You go down some rabbit holes occasionally.
Sort of, yeah.
Okay.
And I've really never experienced or really heard or even thought of the concept of a sex coach. This has got to be.
People haven't.
Is this a fairly new concept, or has it been around?
I would say that we are a newer industry, yes. I mean, coaching in itself being a newer industry, a lot of people would, traditionally have turned to a therapist for some of the things that we would have done.
Okay.
So yeah, like business coaching kind of came about first, but just the idea of coaching kind of became popularized over the last, 20, 30 years. And there are actually specific methods behind how you coach people that are different than therapy. I do plan on going and getting my master's and my PhD eventually. I do want to be a clinical sexologist, but for now, I mean, school's really expensive.
Huh.
Yeah. I mean, I was in a job I wasn't very happy with, and got the inspiration last year after listening to a podcaster talking about how she became a sex coach, and started kind of going down that path of how do I actually open up a small business. And I got a business mentor with SCORE through the Small Business Administration, and she was the one who said, there's lots of people out there coaching in lots of different areas that have zero experience, no degrees, nothing like that, no license. I would just start your business now. Just be really clear and open with people that you're working towards becoming that certified sex coach, which I'm almost done. I'm getting there, and just tell people what you want to do. And I said, I want to help people with their love lives.
What were you doing beforehand?
I was working for a manufacturer, traveling quite a lot, selling electrical components, and
just like a
before that,
saleswoman.
Yeah,
Does
I've done a lot of sales in the past.
Okay, so that would tell me that you're kind of a go-getter, kind of an entrepreneur type, motivated person that can.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. For sure.
I'm really looking at this. It's funny that I keep finding these guests like this that are just going after their dream.
Gotta have the hustle.
And doing what they want to do, saying, screw you. I don't want to work for you. I want to work for myself.
Yeah.
And it's really cool to see that. And you guys all have that same. There's just something in you guys that has that like go get 'em mentality. Like even though you have been working for the man, there's something still that says, because everybody says, fuck the man. Yeah. I don't want to work for them. Fuck them.
No, nobody does. Nobody wants to, but some of us don't really have a choice because we don't have it in us to do something different.
Yeah, and some people do say, yeah, fuck the man. I am going to do what I want to do. And you guys all have that same. You actually do it. You follow through.
It takes some gumption.
Yeah, but it takes this. I don't know what it is. I wish I had it, but it's like this crazy motivation that just is. I think it's just in your guys' DNA.
Maybe so. My dad's an entrepreneur. He did work for the man for a while. He worked for a very large corporation that is a giant discount chain store.
Okay.
That kind of helped destroy.
We can speculate.
Mom and Pop America.
Yeah.
Anyway,
well, that's capitalism.
Yeah,
I mean, we need it.
I know.
We need it.
He is.
We have 300 and something million people. I'm sorry, Mom and Pop.
The lessons he learned
we have
working
to do
for a capitalist, corporation,
Yeah.
or what carries him now in his retirement as a numismatist. He's a coin guy.
Look,
but he's got his own little small business. But he had one when he was younger. He loved it. He couldn't really sustain it with starting a family and everything. So he went back to it once he retired. And so yeah, a lot of my cousins on both sides of the family have kind of gone in for themselves in some way, shape, or form. So
yeah,
I think it is a little bit just
in you?
Socialized. Yeah, so partly socialized, partly just in you. Yeah,
it's in you. That's awesome. I'm really happy for you to actually make that step. And you've been doing it for about a year? That's when you kind of...
a year and a half almost.
Yeah. So you're just a baby. You've got such a long way to go, and it seems like you've...
Just imagine what I'll be like when I'm like Dr. Ruth's age.
Oh, man. Dr. Ruth, good one.
Yeah, I love her. Remember the
Dr.
old lady?
Ruth. Would she be a sex coach?
She was a sex therapist.
Yeah, but I mean, this day and age, you could maybe call her... Yeah, she was...
I think she's still alive, if I recall correctly. She's still out there. She's not really doing much, if I recall. Remember the lady late at night on cable that used to, like, people would call in and she'd, like, rate and talk about dildos and vibrators and stuff like that?
I'm going to tell you something that might surprise a lot. Ryan, sometimes you open up too much on your podcast. I'm trying to figure out if I should tell you guys or not.
Hey, if this was just a you and me context, obviously it would be confidential, but,
it's not a big deal. All right,
like,
it's not even, it's just weird. People tell me that it's weird, kind of weird this day and age. I don't watch porn.
Okay.
I've never been a real big porn guy.
There's nothing wrong with that.
I've watched my fair share. I'm not abstinent of porn.
It's not like you've never.
I've gotten down with it for sure.
Okay.
But it's not like, I can't tell you the last time I fired. I dare anyone to come on my computer over here. Find porn on there that I've watched. It's non-existent. You won't find it. Anyways.
I cannot say the same thing for my computer or my phone.
And I think porn's great. I think it should be out there. I have nothing against it. And I'm glad people watch it. It's just, I don't need it. It's whatever. So like that's never been in.
Some people aren't really visual people when it comes to how they utilize fantasy, or they can just
Yeah.
close their eyes and think about something, or they prefer to think about previous sexual experiences, or they're more in their bodies in the moment, and so when they masturbate, they are just enjoying how it feels in the moment. They're not having to worry about having that visual stimulation with pornography. Porn's not for everybody, and there's so many different kinds of porn out there.
Oh
So,
yeah,
but
I've heard about them. I've heard.
the dark, deep recesses.
You know, I think
of
some of the strangest
porn
ones.
are really crazy.
I'm sure there's. Okay, I'm gonna tell you the strangest ones I've heard of,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm sure being in your profession, you've heard of probably all of the
Bring it on.
Okay. the weirdest ones to me that are weird.
Mm-hmm.
Quicksand porn,
That's more of a fetish.
but it's like porn that's okay. Is that not porn?
I mean,
is fetish porn still not
There's
porn?
So
I've never watched it. I've just heard of it.
okay, there's a it's not like there's a distinguishment. I'm just saying like it can be pornographic, yes, but a fetish film might not actually involve any intercourse.
Does intercourse have to be porn?
I mean, I would say intercourse is pornography, yes,
Yes, but
there's
not all
like
porn.
fetish
Okay.
films that aren't pornographic.
How about all? Wait, what do we? All intercourse films are pornographic,
but
but
not
not all pornographic films are intercourse.
Yeah, exactly.
So I would say that'd be porn. Quicksand porn is a porn. It's just non.
Well, are they having sex?
I don't think so, but it's
Then
still porn.
It's not intercourse.
No, exactly,
it's-
but
yeah,
it's still
okay.
porn. That's my method.
Okay, all right, that's fine.
Porn doesn't have to have.
Because it has a sexual nature to it.
Yeah.
Or has some sort of like it's to give
Sure.
someone sexual
Yeah, I mean,
gratification.
we're
Okay.
just arguing
All
semantics
right,
at
that's
this
fine,
point.
yeah. What else? Have you ever heard of lunars?
Huh?
Lunars, like they like balloons.
Balloons. I've heard of that fetish where a guy wants to watch a girl pop balloons.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I've
There's
heard-
popping balloons, or yeah.
Okay.
Actually, I have a,
What was the other one I was gonna say? I said quicksand porn. And what's the other? Oh, tentacle porn, like Japanese tentacle porn. Have you heard of that?
not heard of that one. No.
Oh, you guys, I stumped. I stumped the sex coach. Holla at your boy. That's why you guys come to Neanderthal Podcast, because we stumped the professionals. I'm just messing around with you. I'm sorry.
I mean, there's something out there for everybody, sure, but jeez, that one's.
Yeah, it's like these animated octopus or these monsters, and they're gigantic. And
Oh, so it's anime.
I think so.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't think it's actual real live tentacles, but I would not put that against the internet.
I mean, anime makes sense.
I just put it out there. I'm sure it's out there. I'm sure real live. I'm
gonna
sure
start
real. I'm not going
Getting
to think
the point
about
where
that.
people are
That's
gonna start
disgusting.
sending you links.
Oh, so that's funny. Oh, I got a great question for you.
Okay.
You've listened to my podcast a few
Mhm.
times.
Yeah.
You know I bounce around a lot
Mhm.
sometimes.
Yeah, it's okay.
This is one of those moments. Welcome.
I'm along for the ride.
Okay. And I forgot what I was going to say. And I do that too.
You can start taking notes.
Nah, I can't do that. It's not. Yeah, I was
Tentacle
talking
porn,
about.
first
Oh, yeah, I would.
People sending you links.
Oh, yes, thank you. You brought me back. So last week's guest was a female,
Mhm.
and she's got quite the following, and she has an assistant. And she said, her assistant was with her, and she mentioned something about making a joke about getting dick pics. And I was just like, is
Mhm.
that for real?
Mhm.
And her assistant said, because the assistant goes through all the emails, he goes, oh, yeah, he's piped up. He goes, oh, yeah. He said, and then after the podcast, he said, no, he goes, really? I get about 50 dick pics a day or a week, a day or a week, probably a week.
I don't get dick pics. I don't know what
Okay.
it is. I mean, I had when I was on like dating apps and stuff, but I don't really get them anymore. Now, what I do get is because I've got a marketing guy. I don't have an assistant, but I have a guy I pay to help me with.
You
all
got
my,
somebody too.
I got
Everybody's got
Everybody's
somebody but me. I got
a guy.
I do. Actually, can I just interrupt real quick? We'll talk
No.
about I got a guy in here right now running cameras. This is the Flat Earther. He's been on the podcast before. He's behind the scenes doing the cameras. Thank you, Robin, for being here. Appreciate it. Now, tell me about your guy.
I got a message. Actually, I think it was a comment. It wasn't even like a DM on an Instagram that was, "Oh, you're a sex coach. Does that mean you're good in bed?" And he called me up. He's like, "So how do you want to respond to this?" I'm like, "Probably the same way I do in person, which is, yeah, but that's really not the point."
Yeah.
And he goes, "Wait, you get asked that?" I'm like, "Yeah." He goes, "In person?" I'm like, "Yeah. In fact, last time was at a huge event with hundreds of people in the room, and it was a woman. I handed her my card, and
Was
she's
she
like,
pissed off?
No, does that mean you're like really good in bed?
Oh,
And I was
okay.
like, yes, but that's not the point. And then I got everyone around me laughing. So I just usually approach things like that with humor.
You got to.
He goes, okay, I'm glad that you approach everything with humor, but I can't believe people have the audacity to ask you that. I'm like, people are audacious.
Dudes especially. We can admit it.
Oh no, women are much.
They're not creeps though. Women keep it at bay.
But
They might
the
be creeps in inside their head, but they're not letting that monster out. Dudes just let that monster out, and they're creepy as fuck whenever they want. You're not getting.
Usually they're creepy as fuck late at night after they've had a few drinks.
Sure. Are the women?
That's when not to me. I mean, what about you? Is that when you're getting the creepy DMs?
I don't get any DMs.
Not yet.
I don't get any. The only DMs I get are me reaching out to someone and them coming back to me, like you for being on the podcast, my last guest for being on the podcast. That's my primarily biggest social avenue I use is Instagram. So that's how I talk to people. That's how I DM people for the podcast. But I've never been hit up in any kind of way from guys or gals.
Well, it's probably going to happen soon enough, I'm sure. Just keep, as your following grows, it'll just happen.
I'm not asking for it, but I'm also not shunning it. I mean,
that's
ladies,
part of my hesitation with
dudes, I mean, look,
there.
if you want to stroke my ego, that's fine. That's all you're going to stroke. But I mean, I'm not going to lie. It wouldn't feel too bad to get a dick pic.
I mean, it just
it's unsolicited though. I'm not asking for it. Show me titties first. Okay, sorry.
Think about that moment where you're just like in the middle of your day, you're going along, you get a message, all of a sudden you look at it, and it's a dick, and it's not even like a pretty dick, and it's not someone you know, and it's just
an unsolicited random dick pics got to be awful.
It is awful.
Yeah,
it really is.
I imagine.
But
pretty or not,
if I got random boobs in the day, I wouldn't complain. I'd be like, oh,
nobody
nice.
complains.
Nobody complains about boobs.
But you know why?
Why?
They're a precious commodity because they're not being thrown out there like dick pics. Dick pics are out there a dime a dozen. They're all over the place. The market's been flooded. Yep,
yeah,
not boobs.
I'm tired of them.
And ladies, let's keep that commodity precious. Don't have to throw them all out there all the time.
No.
Just DM me, Neandertalk Pod, on Instagram. I promise it's just between me and you.
Just don't give out your Snapchat.
Snapchat me that. All right, so the sex coach. So you get obviously a lot of weird responses, but you do a lot of really good things. And you're doing this because you're obviously passionate about it, which is awesome to see somebody doing something so passionate with their life and doing it. I'm so jealous that you get to do that. That's like, it's really inspiring. It's just really cool. I love looking at you and seeing you living your dream and doing the damn thing.
Thank you. Not every day's a picnic. When you're out there hustling and trying to find those clients, it's not easy. But, when you get done with a meeting or you see the progress that clients have made, that's what it's all about. I really got into this because I don't have a problem with anything when it comes to adult consensual sexual expression, except medical fetish. I'm going to refer you out if you've got a medical fetish. We'll talk about that in a moment.
You saw me. You saw me derailing.
I know, right? No, we'll come back to the medical fetish.
You're good.
But, I admittedly, I am twice divorced. Sometimes I joke about I know more of what not to do than what to do, but I kind of wish I'd had somebody to turn to that could have helped me work through some things. Maybe let go of some of the guilt that I felt like I had to carry for a long time after those relationships ended. And after my kind of had to really start changing up who was around me and find the people that really supported me as a person, as a human, and didn't kind of derail my plans or pull me aside just with bad habits and lifestyles, things like that. So I had to kind of find myself again. And I really wish I'd had somebody along that journey besides my personal trainer.
Yeah.
So I want to be that person for other people.
Wow, that's really a beautiful thing.
Thank you.
You know that, of course. You know it's beautiful.
Mean, when you have that moment where you actually get to see it with clients.
I was going to ask, you've had some success stories, I assume.
I have.
What's that? Can you kind of tell us, what was obviously you remember your first.
Yeah, the best moment
how did
to
you
really
get
is
your
the
first?
day that a client is like, we don't really need you anymore. I'm like, yay,
right.
Great, awesome. I'll be here if you ever need me again. it was like my mentor is Dr. Patty Britton. She's been a sex coach for like 30 years. She was with Planned Parenthood for a long time, writing like sex education programs for them in New York. Now she's in Los Angeles and started Sex Coach U with her partner, Robert Dunlap, who's since passed in the last year, but he actually was the coach with the program that did my interview when I interviewed with the school. So he's actually part of the reason that I'm there too. So I only got to really chat with him on the phone a few times, but he was huge in the industry and especially with our school and everything. You know, she has said that there are clients out there who she may not hear from for 3 or 4 years or even 10 years, and they come back if things change, or just because they trusted her, and then they'll remember later, like, you know, I really did value her advice, and I'm at
Something
a point in my
comes
life
up
again where I
again.
need
Yeah.
it. And people have said you know, why don't you go to Los Angeles or San Francisco or New York or anywhere on the coast, really? You could probably find tons of clients because they just feel like those are more progressive areas when it comes to what I do.
Kansas City is pretty progressive.
I feel like it is, and I also feel like being from here, I have a more unique perspective on what we go through, especially with a lot of us have that Midwest lifestyle, the religious upbringings.
Don't have to go very far outside the city to get deep in the South or in the backwoods. That's for sure.
Right. Yeah, and I'm a Missouri girl through and through. I've lived in Missouri all but 1 year of my life. I know what life is like here, and I know what kind of pressures we had, especially when we were young, what a lot of us have had to go through with divorces and things like that.
Yeah.
Especially dealing with family, like my grandma. Oh, bless her heart. She passed away this year, but she hung up on me when I called her to tell her I was getting a divorce first time. She didn't speak to me for a few months. And it wasn't until I really got into like details I didn't want to share with her that she was like, oh, okay, I get it now.
Yeah.
Damn, I didn't want to have to tell her that stuff, you know.
Okay.
I had to break her heart a little bit, you know.
I don't know, but I'm not going to go down that road. I mean,
you know, well, when she was raised, you know, you don't
get
a divorce, and she really liked him. He was a good person. We just weren't a good fit for many, many reasons.
It happens every day of the week.
Yeah. So she liked him, and she was mad at me.
Oh, sure.
Yeah. So then I had to break her heart and like shatter her vision of him.
Yeah.
Sorry. Not sorry.
Sorry, not sorry.
No.
Hashtag sorry, not sorry. Wow. Oh my gosh, so your very first, how did you get your very first client?
I do a lot of in-person networking. So I go to a lot of events with, again, like the Chamber of Commerce and stuff like that.
Okay.
And I had given my card to somebody, and they gave my card to this person who I guess kind of knew what she was going through and was like, you know, maybe she could help you. And she reached out, and yeah, kind of went from there. But it was a couple, and I worked with them for several months, got them through some things, helped her find some resources that she needed. She was kind of experiencing some trauma that she needed to work through. She did a great job. She really did. She went to a program that was here in town. I believe it was at Truman Medical, and she was like a completely different person by the end of it. It was great seeing her. She really dedicated herself to getting back to where she wanted to. And that's the thing. I don't really help people that really need a therapist. I will tell you if you need to go talk to somebody and get that kind of treatment.
Okay.
I am here to help people that are ready to move forward in their lives. They've come to a point where they can't handle what they've been through or what they've done so far, and they're ready for change. But they have to be willing to do the work.
Right.
If they're not at that point, I'm not the right fit for them. And these people were ready for that change. So, and I got to see them for several months, and then again, kind of got to the point where they were like, "Okay, we feel really good." I'm like, "Good, great,
nice.
Go out into the world and let's see how things go." And then I got to see them early in the summer, and I could tell that she was expecting. So then I sent her an email and followed up and was like, "Hey, are ya?" She's like, "Yeah." So they're doing good.
Good.
That's the best thing I want to hear.
I bet.
I
bet
hope
that
I don't
feels
hear
so
from them
amazing.
for a very long time. You know?
Maybe
So,
a Christmas card.
Oh, that would be lovely. Or like a baby announcement one day.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, that'd be cute. Start adding those things like my own personal collection. It's not like I'd be like, look at all these clients I help. It's not like I'm going to break out an album of things, but, you know.
Yeah, so I know I was kind of researching a little bit about you.
Mm-hmm.
I don't do a ton of research for these podcasts because I don't want to know too much going in.
Did you go to my website?
I just really looked at, your website.
Mm-hmm.
And I read some blogs.
Oh, okay.
And then I saw different things. I saw the first thing that interested me, or that caught my attention was obviously the sex coaching. I'm like, what exactly? And they say, oh, and then you do like life coaching, and I started reading a little bit about that, and I was like, I could use life coaching for sure. I go, there's no way I can afford it though. I was like, there's no way. So how affordable is
I'm
stuff
probably
like
a lot more
this?
affordable than people think.
Yeah, but my ignorant self, and I have no idea. I just think something like that is just something for like people that make, I'm kind of blue collar, it's more of a white collar paycheck that's helping out with, you know what I mean? It's so in my mind, but I'm ignorant and I'm admitting that to you. So, and I don't want you to tell me how much it costs or what prices are or anything on the market.
Coming to see me once a month would probably cost you as much as like your gym membership and maybe your morning coffees, for the month.
Once a month?
Yeah.
Is that what people need?
I often say I don't want to see people every single week because they don't really
That's
have
a
enough
lot.
time to
That's
work
a therapist
through stuff.
shit.
That's therapist shit. Yeah. Maybe once a month, every other week at most.
Okay.
Just because a lot of times I'm asking them to go read books or articles.
I gotcha.
Or, read things and work through things. There's assignments, there's homework, and sometimes that homework is sex.
Oh my.
Yeah. So
I was speaking more on like the life coaching.
Well, on the life coaching stuff,
but
sometimes it's masturbation. Sometimes you need a release. The thing is with life coaching, sex is a part of your life. So even if I'm coaching someone through a career change,
why
I'm
beat
going to be
around the
asking
bush?
them about how's your hating your job affecting your love life,
your libido or whatnot.
Exactly. It's all. Even when I was a weight loss coach, which I did that for about 4.5 years.
Yeah.
I felt like when I was coaching, especially women, about their weight and their lives and stuff, it was also about sex and love and intimacy, all that stuff.
That makes a lot of sense.
We had a lot of goal weight babies. Like the younger women that would come after they'd gained the baby weight and hadn't lost it for a couple of years. They'd get down their goal weight, and then a couple months later they'd come and be like, so, yeah, I'm pregnant again. And that was a fun feeling, too, just because you knew, especially watching some of those women go through that journey of self-doubt and, does my partner really love me? And he says he loves me even though, my body's completely different. Or partners that really weren't attracted to them after they put weight on, things like that. That's a hard thing to help someone go through, but it happens.
I try, I stumble over my tongue often because what do you think? Is it okay if a guy says you're not what you look like at all anymore? You've gone way too far and I'm just not attracted to you at all. That's got to be a part of a sex coaching. A couple has got to come see you for something like that. No, that's a big deal. Like
it is a big deal. Well, because here's the thing. When I was overweight, I kept trying probably to overshoot what I, should have been as far as like body type. And I had a guy friend of mine. He was kind of counseling me through that, and I did have to actually say out loud, like, I get that me being my size, I can't expect someone that like looks like that. And that kind of hit me like, nobody, whether a male or a female, wants to be with somebody that's not probably healthy, fit, and it does affect your libido. Mm-hmm. It affects your overall happiness because, let's be real, once you start putting weight on and you're not taking care of yourself, it is an entire cycle. The food that you put into your body, the way that you fuel yourself matters. It affects everything from your mood to your sleep to your weight. So that's ultimately, I think, what often partners are not happy with, even though the weight is the easy thing to pick on. And like the physique, that is the overall thing of like, I was once attracted to you when you were, thin or fit or healthy, and now you're not. And also the behaviors that come along with putting it to that point, that can be what's the challenge.
Yeah. I don't know. I admittedly am an asshole at times, and I have said to previous relationships early on,
don't get fat.
Don't get fat.
I can't tell you a single guy that I didn't date that hasn't said that to me too, so you're not the only asshole out there.
Yeah, I understand that. I'm sorry, but I don't want to be with a fat chick, and there's so many reasons, and I don't think
I don't want to be with a guy that's overweight.
You don't want to be with a fat dude.
No, I don't.
Of course not. Well, I don't know why. Yeah, I'm sure there's some. Yeah,
But
yes,
again,
there's.
for me, having been in the weight loss industry, I know what people are like when they get themselves to that point where they're overweight.
Yeah.
And that I don't want that kind of behavior
Yeah.
around me either.
Oh, for sure.
I don't want someone that's
There's a lot of
lazy.
poor decision
I don't
making
want
going
someone
on.
making poor decisions. I don't want someone that, also the last partner I had, he was kind of overweight and he helped me get overweight while he got more and more overweight. So that was also a control thing. It was,
Okay.
make me unattractive so nobody else will find me attractive because then he's the only one and then I'm stuck with him.
Yeah. Yeah, and look, I'm not saying.
So sometimes weight's used as a control issue in a relationship too.
Oh no, I've heard that. I've heard of it on the women's part, on like a sexual side, where they just don't want to have sex anymore for whatever reason, and so they try to make themselves unattractive, and they just eat. So
Well,
I've heard of that. That's a thing.
Yeah, that is a thing for women who have.
I'm not saying
especially,
everybody's like that.
Had sexual assault
Yeah.
early in life.
Right? Yeah,
That
yeah.
it can be a tactic that
Okay,
they use.
sure.
Mhm. Yeah, but even beyond that, just I get it. To say you're an asshole is not necessarily like the fairest thing to say. It's just that there's so much more that goes along with it to me. So maybe maybe you're not outwardly thinking about all that stuff.
Yeah, no, I have been called an asshole before,
I've been called plenty of names in my life.
but
At the end of the day, do they really matter?
nah.
No.
It's all right. Sometimes, hey, sometimes you have to be an asshole.
Sometimes you have to be a bitch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's the bitchiest thing you've had to do recently?
Tell someone I was not interested in dating them.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, because unfortunately we went to coffee first before I realized that it was trying to be a dating situation. He could listen to this because he is local, but it just was one of those like, no.
Nobody listens to this. You're fine.
No. Well, I'm going to be promoting the shit out of this on my social media.
Really?
So people better fucking listen to this.
Listen up, people.
Yeah.
We're going places. So
We are.
you met up with this dude for coffee,
Mm-hmm.
and it didn't go well, or did it go well?
I mean, it was just, I thought it was for networking. I thought it was for,
Yeah.
I didn't think it was for anything other than he wanted to learn about my business. And I maybe was hoping to maybe get a coaching client out of it because he doesn't have a job at this time. And he's trying to get some stuff going and stuff, but I don't know. It just, I could tell after the second, like he tried to make another appointment. And I was like, no, I'm kind of busy right now, but thanks. And then he tried to make a third. I was like, no, I'm busy, and it's 3 days later. And then he tried a fourth. I was like, hey, so no, I gave you an hour of my time to tell you about my business, and I feel like I told you everything that I could, and I'm very busy right now. And plus, I kind of feel like this is trying to get converted into a dating situation that's just really not what I'm interested in here. So if you've got a client you can refer to me, or you're wanting to be a client yourself, that's fine. That's it here. And he was like, oh yeah, I was trying to turn this into a dating situation. I'm sorry you didn't understand that from the very get-go. And I was like, oh no.
Okay. That's not too bitchy.
It's not too bitchy, but it's...
That ain't bad. If you're calling that bitchy.
Also, my response... Okay, because my response was very guarded because we live in a world where I have to basically be responsible for the potential of someone's response.
What do you mean?
I had to word it in a way that wouldn't hurt his feelings, upset him, make him mad, make him lash out. Because we live in a world, if you make them too mad, they'll start calling you names like publicly on social media, start fucking with you online, doxing you, and giving your information away.
Do we really live?
Yes, we really live in that kind of world. Absolutely, where women have to be really cautious about like you have to be direct and you have to be firm, because if you're too soft, they won't get it. You have to be just direct enough, but just nice enough to where they don't get pissed off and go, well, fuck you, and start calling you names, start calling you a whore or a bitch or whatever online. That happens.
After 1 or 2 dates?
Yes. Sometimes it doesn't even take that much for people to start fucking with you online.
You're saying...
You just say the wrong thing and they start like being jerks towards you. That's been part of my hesitation in getting too like public or out there with my stuff, because there just comes a point where you say the wrong thing or you do the wrong thing, you piss off the wrong person, even if it's not intentionally, and then all of a sudden, like, you're a target.
Huh. Okay, so you're saying women have to be like that. Well, wouldn't guys?
I
Do
don't
guys have to be
necessarily
like
think
that
it's
too?
just women. It can be men too. But in this particular situation, when it comes to, he obviously wanted to go on more dates and I did not. Again, it's.
I've just.
Yeah, women can go. Okay, the whole women going crazy thing where she starts like stalking you. Yeah, that's like, yeah, that can happen, but it doesn't happen very often. The thing with a lot of harassment online, especially too, is it can be really subtle. Oh, and it's a small city, word of mouth. That guy could, say whatever he wants to people that he knows. Like, that's what I'm saying is I had to be very measured and calculated in my response so that to prevent. I mean, he could just be a genuinely nice guy and would never have ever thought about doing things like that. But I don't know him.
Right. No, I understand that you think you have to be like that.
Yeah, that's the whole point. Is that I feel like I have to be like that to control the situation.
I think you're over worried.
Maybe.
I mean, there's nothing wrong with being better safe than sorry. Maybe I'm under worried. I do that often with a lot of things. Something surprised me, and maybe I'm way more naive than I'd like to think I am. But like I said, last week's guest was saying all the dick pics she gets, and I was blown away. Blown away. And so I guess, all right, I guess we live in a society
How many followers does she have?
I don't know. She got quite a few.
What does she do? She's like
she's an
musician?
artist.
Okay.
She's a musician.
I think that often is a problem for especially women artists, that women that are putting themselves out there on Instagram, like their videos.
Right,
and
she's an
pictures and stuff
attractive
like that.
woman,
Yeah.
good voice. She's putting herself out there, sure.
I think there's a certain amount of entitlement that certain men, not all men, that certain men feel towards women like that. Because that's not the first time I've heard that about female artists, even small ones like locally.
Yeah, she's
or local actresses and even actors. They get just harassed and inundated anytime they put their work, their art out there.
Yeah, I guess it's a weird world. That's the internet age that we live in. It's a weird one. Mr. Grinch. Just want to do a song here.
You need like a little song break in the middle or something.
Yeah, a little dance, a little singing.
So when you first saw that I was a sex coach, where did your mind go?
It went straight to your website because I had no idea what to think.
Okay.
I really didn't know. I didn't think anything immature.
Good.
Because that's stupid.
Often. Well,
I'm an older guy.
I will say that my business card has a double entendre on it. So if I'm in person, often it makes people's heads go to, because it says owner and head coach.
Ha ha.
Yeah, usually only people at the gauge remember that.
I don't remember anything specific about.
You didn't giggle when I handed you my card when we got coffee, which I do appreciate you asking me out for coffee because you do record at your home studio, and I needed to make sure you weren't a nut job or anything like that before.
Yeah,
I appreciate
absolutely.
That. Yeah. But yeah, you didn't giggle when I handed you my business card.
I probably, honestly, didn't read it. I knew who you were.
Yeah.
And I knew what you did.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, here's a card. Just being straight up with you.
First time I handed my card to the mayor.
Sly James?
Yeah. He's just so cute with those little bow ties. But I see him at events all the time, and we were at a ribbon cutting downtown, and I had my name badge on, and he saw my company name, and he was like, "Open the Doors Coaching. What's that?" And I handed him my card, and I said, well, I'm a relationship, dating, and sex coach. And I started my own coaching business so I could help people with their love lives. And I did my little elevator pitch, and he's just staring at my card and mouth open. He looks at my two friends who are on either side of me, and they just shake their heads like, she's for real. She's not bullshitting you. And I get done saying what I had to say, and he just goes, well,
thank you.
Tell me more.
Yeah.
And I just gave him kind of the extended speech, and he was like, you know what? I think that's great. I love the entrepreneurial spirit here in town. There's lots of resources. Have you kind of started reaching out to those? And I told him, I got my SCORE mentor. I'm going to do Kaufman Fast Track New Ventures, which is now Elevation Lab, which helped me write out my business plan. And yeah, I told him some of the things I was doing. He's like, I really think that that's fantastic. I bet it's quite a niche for you, right?
Yeah.
And he was like, I bet if you just got a billboard, you get all sorts of clients.
Oh, good idea.
Sir, I think I would probably get the wrong kind of phone calls at 2 a.m. He goes, Yeah, you're probably right.
Well, when you're that big, when you're big enough to have a billboard, you got yourself an assistant. And he'll go through the
I'm
dick
gonna
pics.
build an empire, and I'm gonna have a billboard, but it's not now, and it's not gonna have my phone number on it.
Yeah.
It's gonna be like when I get my own radio show or write a book
Radio
or
show.
something.
You can just do a podcast instead of a radio show.
Yeah, but like that doesn't get you a billboard. I want to be like Dave Ramsey's got his. Actually, Dave Ramsey was in last night. I saw him. I also work part time at a restaurant in town, in the Crossroads, and Dave Ramsey was in last night. So
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I didn't get to serve him myself. I just got to kind of see him through the door.
I'm
He
not
was
a
in the
big
side
fan of that
restaurant, but-
guy. He annoys me.
Yeah, but he's got a billboard. I
Good
want
for
a
him.
billboard.
I don't think they're that expensive.
This is true. Shit, now I'm
Hey,
gonna get out front marketing.
What if
calling
we?
me.
What if we? Let's go in on one. Half the
Oh,
side
okay.
will be out, open the doors coaching.
Well,
the other side will be Neanderthal
Neanderthal
podcast.
Podcast?
Yeah, we'll just
Okay.
put our logos.
I
in.
need a really snazzy name for my podcast though, and I don't have that yet.
Is that something you want? Do you really want to do a
I
podcast?
do want to do a podcast. Yeah, I think that there's lots of topics that you can talk about sex and something else. That's the only thing I've thought about. I need
Sex
I need to
and
trademark that.
Here's the thing with saying sex and or sex something as the title. I don't know, but I imagine that market's probably pretty flooded.
I've looked and on
If not,
iTunes.
then go for
I
it.
don't know. That's my thing. Like that was part of what I did with my research when I started my business. Was I kind of tossed around some names and I started doing some research, and which I hope you did the same to make sure there's no one out there trademarked with like anything that's close to your stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, I need to start just writing some ideas down and then start researching and seeing what's out there and what's close to it, what's not.
Yeah, I've heard you were on. This is not your first podcast, by the way.
This is my third.
This is your third.
Mm-hmm.
I listened
Better
to.
and better every time.
Is it?
My first one was great.
I didn't hear your first one. I heard the one you just recently did with a local guy.
Yeah.
And it was kind of more on the political side.
Yeah, we were talking about some legislation that he was opposed to, and I'm opposed to. We're kind of opposed to him for different reasons, but sort of the same. But yeah.
Okay. Yeah. What do you want to get into that? I'm not saying political. I'm not a political guy. I mean, I can talk politics and give you my opinions on things, but I'm not. This show is not political.
I say my first podcast was a lot more fun. It was called Must Love Fetish.
It was more fun than this.
Yeah. No.
Sorry.
Okay. No. My first one.
Bye, Felicia.
And then no.
I'm messing with you.
I'm not saying it was the most fun. I'm saying that my first one was more fun than the last one.
Okay.
So, sorry if he's listening to this one, but
I highly doubt it.
I mean, I talked about sex a lot more in the first one, so of course it was more fun.
Yeah, you love talking sex.
I do love talking about sex.
Do you?
Mm-hmm, yeah.
Just openly, like open doors.
Yeah,
sex?
I mean, my company is Open the Doors Coaching. So I'm pretty open with a lot of things that I discuss with people. I mean, I walk around networking events with a Got Condoms button on.
Oh, okay.
And I have like a kit in my purse that I keep in case people call me out on that. I'm like, yes, I have some to choose from. What would you like?
You mentioned something that you do Facebook Live.
I do, yeah.
I'm not a Facebook guy.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I have an account under my normal name, but I don't mess with Facebook really at all. For a whole other, whatever. I'm not gonna get into that. But you do Facebook Live. What do you do on there? And
it kind of depends. Sometimes I'm at networking events, and I'm just there to like kind of say, here's where I'm at, and here's some of the folks that I'm around. You should come check this place out. Sometimes
that's kind of like a podcast. The Facebook Live is kind of like a podcast.
Like this last one, I did a condom review.
Okay.
Let's see what else.
What's a condom review? How do you do that?
I was talking about my favorite condoms, and I was like showing that I just got a sample for the female condom. I was showing that to people so they could maybe go check that out.
Tell me. Not me. I already know. Why don't you tell everybody else what a female condom is for those unschooled? Not like me. I know.
It's a condom that's inserted into the vagina, and then you can put whatever you want in there, whether it's a penis or a dildo or a vibrator or fingers or all sorts of things. But the condom just stays inside the woman.
How?
I have one. I mean, I could show you the sketch on the outside. It does. I mean, it's.
But I mean, obviously, a condom on it.
It's kind of like a vacuum. Once you get it up in there, it just kind of like stays. I mean.
When do you put it up there?
Before intercourse.
Oh, obviously, but I mean, like, all right. I'm going out with this hot guy tonight.
No, when do you put a condom on?
Okay, I didn't know if you
when
like.
You're erect, so you put a female condom in once the things are going.
Okay, pardon my ignorance.
You said you knew.
Well, I lied.
Okay.
People, I lied. If you guys could see my face, you knew I was lying through my teeth.
I just had to make sure that pointed that out.
Yeah, I don't know what a female condom is. I didn't know if it was like so. Like,
okay, the thing is, there's a ring on the end of it, like a plastic ring, so that helps hold it outside, like on the vulva. So imagine like that's the vaginal opening.
Right.
I should have brought my vulva puppet.
Should have.
Oh, that would be really great for the cameras.
Well, maybe next time.
Next time?
Oh, Jinx,
Okay.
you owe me a Coke.
I got a Mountain Dew in my car. It's all.
That shrinks your dick.
It makes you taste good though.
Huh.
And I don't have a dick, so
I
I don't
don't
have to worry about that.
Well, I don't care how I taste. I want
Although
a big dick.
I do have big dick energy.
What's the anti-Mountain Dew, guys? Give it to me.
You don't want it to taste good?
I don't care what it tastes like. I just want it big. What can I do? What can I do?
I'm saying it makes your semen taste good.
Right. I don't care what my semen tastes like. I want a big dick. So I don't
So
need.
you're saying you don't already?
I don't. Tiny.
Somehow I doubt that.
Well.
Like that big dick energy thing.
You did say I have big dick energy.
Well, I have it too. So yeah.
I don't know that I have it. I didn't know that I had it.
It's a certain just kind of like way you carry yourself. It doesn't have actually anything to do with the size of your penis or even having a penis. Because like I was saying, like Rihanna, she's got big dick energy.
Holla at your boy. I can't discuss the size of my.
No, of course not. But
yeah,
I mean,
that'd be weird.
Oh, if you didn't have the cameras going.
Yeah, that'd be weird. I got the cameras going. Yeah. So, anyways, the condom, it just goes. So I was thinking that's why. No, why I asked.
Ring and this it stays outside. And the sleeve like goes inside.
Okay. No, I was just wondering if it was like so. Like, I've heard of guys putting cock rings on hours before they're gonna have sex.
That's
just like
different.
All right, like I'm going out with this chick tonight. I'm going to go ahead and prepare and slap this bad boy on because it could happen. So I didn't know if the female condom was like, I'm going out with this hot guy tonight. Maybe things will happen. I'm just going to put this in here just in case.
I wouldn't recommend that, no.
So I started doing intros to my podcasts. On this one, I'm going to have to say, Mom and Dad, if you listen to this podcast, don't listen to this one. Don't listen to this one. What do your parents think about what you do?
They've been pretty cool about stuff. When I first talked to my mom about it, I said, so are you going to tell people I'm a sex coach? She's like, I think I'll tell people you're a life coach instead.
Okay.
So my mom's very, very sweet.
Yeah.
My dad's like politically conservative, but he's not really conservative about stuff like this per se.
Okay.
And I mean,
that's so funny.
I know
Conservatives
my parents
aren't
are kind of freaky. They don't act like it. They look like, Bob and Susie Homemaker, but they're freaks, and I know it. And that's
freaks in the bed?
They are freaks, and I know it, and that's as much as I
You walked in on them?
No. Thank God. Not in like 20 years.
Watched
it was more like walking past the bedroom and the door not quite being closed, and I shouldn't have like turned my head. That's as much as I've ever gotten. Luckily. Here's the thing.
Well, what can you possibly see?
Walls only hold so much in.
Okay.
Okay.
Sure.
And I'm a snoop, and that's all I'm going to say. I always found all my Christmas presents, so imagine what else I found.
Oh. What did you find? I am imagining.
Okay, so for my parents' sake, because I have a big family.
Let's say your hypothetical parents.
I'm not going to put my cousins through listening to what Aunt Becky and Uncle Chuck get down with.
Hold on. Do you think they'll listen all the way this far? We've talked for a while, and we've gotten freaky a little bit ago. They might have turned it off by this point. Let's get nasty. Let's talk about your parents' sex. Please, I'm dying to know how Papa Open Doors Coaching bangs Mama Door Open Coaching. I gotta know. I gotta know!
Well, they're getting old, so they do have a wedge.
Oh, a sex pillow.
Yeah.
I've heard of those.
Well, I one time I walked in the room and I was like, "What's that?" And as soon as I said, I was like, "Never mind." My mom's like, "I got a bad hip."
That's awesome for them.
I know, right?
Really, that's beautiful.
But that's the thing. I love that my parents still have a good and healthy sex life. Because how many people after 30 some odd years, approaching 40, really still have a healthy sex life?
I bet you it gets pretty weak after 15 or 16.
Probably.
Depending on, I guess, what age you get married at. But wow,
again,
good for them.
I've never had the conversations with them, so I cannot vouch for quality or consistency. However, they do kiss each other all the time.
It's
they
a good
hold
sign.
hands.
Great
they
sign.
Like, rub each other's feet on the couch.
They're in love.
They're totally in love.
So let them be
absolutely
freaks.
in love.
The
Exactly.
freakier the better.
So
I
even though
imagine.
I'm like, I know you guys are kind of dirty, I'm happy for you.
That's awesome.
Because I want to be 40 years down the road and still be kind of freaky. So Although I don't know, I'm
Whoa.
getting kind of old now. I don't know if I'll hit the
40
40
years
mark.
from now, you're going to be 77.
I'm still gonna be getting down at 77. Are you kidding me?
Golly.
You should never stop having sex unless there is literally something physically or health-wise wrong with you. There are certain medical conditions that, yeah, it's probably not safe for you to have vigorous sex.
Golly.
It doesn't mean you can't have a sexual life or an intimate life. But yeah, 90-year-olds should still be having like intimate moments with their partners.
That's a scary thing for a dude wanting to have sex when you're 80 plus year olds. I'm just thinking about this.
You see,
now.
Meet the Fockers. I mean, there's ways to do it.
No. Here's the thing, because dudes historically, we're visual. We like to look at.
Although you've kind of pointed out that you're not, since you don't really like porn, unless it's like an ethical thing against.
It's not ethical one bit.
Yeah, you're not really a visual person. So
maybe
you're not.
I have a very good imagination. I can make a vivid picture in my mind.
Me too.
So that's why I don't need it.
Okay.
And so I am visual like most dudes are. When you're 80, and what if this has got to be? What if this is like life's greatest, like screw you when you get 80, and that's when you really get super super horny, but you don't talk about it, and all there are other 70, if you're lucky, year olds to bang. You can't possibly. I don't care how old you are, be attracted to a 70 or 80-year-old woman. I don't know. Maybe it changes with time.
Maybe it changes with
Maybe
time.
it has to. But
okay,
I just
because when you were 20, were you attracted to 40-year-old women?
Yeah, come on. 20-year-olds are banging anything they want. It's called a MILF. You're like,
but now that you're getting close. Now you're getting close to 40. Are you now finding like 50, or do you look at like some 50 and 60-year-old women and go like, oh, they're attractive?
How personal are we gonna get? I do dating apps. I don't.
What's your age range? If you don't mind me asking. Fuck. What's your age range? There is no. Do you mind? You're going for all younger, aren't you?
What is my age
Which is
range?
typical. I'll be honest. When I was on dating apps, I went for my age and younger, but I didn't really go for older.
Really? How come?
I don't know. I mean, like 2 years older, but that was it.
Okay.
But I had like a 10 year younger to 2 years older.
Yeah.
I don't know. I had much better luck with when I was doing dating apps, which I haven't done any dating apps since the end of 2016. So like January 1st, 2017, I was done. I had none. So almost 2 years without dating apps. When I was doing them, so I was in my mid-30s. I was 35? 34 and 35. I was mostly going for like 28, 29-year-olds. I had really good luck because they didn't have kids yet and they didn't have like divorces under their belts.
Good age. And they're not super immature.
Right.
They're
kind
still
of over
a
the
little
frat boy phase of their lives, but they still have like that fun and spunk, like adventure.
They're starting to be an adult.
And they've got real jobs now.
Yeah, you're
real
getting
cars,
an adult. That's when you get
real
them.
dates.
Ladies, please listen to this.
They know what they're doing in bed.
Do they?
Okay. Yeah, most of them. I mean, the ones that don't get a second chance. So.
Yeah. Really? Even for a sex coach? Let me teach you what.
I wasn't a sex coach then.
Let me teach you how to Dougie.
There was one guy that I kept around way too long that I had no business keeping him around. And I mean.
What was his name?
I'm not going to say his name.
Come on.
He's local. So.
Do you know him still?
Yes.
Are you friends with him?
No, we're not friends on like social media. Like followers is different than friends. But no, he still tries to reach out occasionally. But
maybe
he has a girlfriend. So I'm not really down with that. I'm not down with sneaking around on somebody. So I'm not going to be the girl in that situation.
But sometimes I gotta creep. I can sing a whole rap song about that.
I don't need to give in to him to get what I need. I've got
I'm not saying
others
you do.
I could choose from.
Oh, I'm not saying you do. Yeah, I'm just asking you.
That's my thing.
I'm just asking you to call this guy out. What's this guy's name?
When I've got like 5 kinds of pie in front of me, like I don't need to worry about that one I don't really
cake?
like. I
don't want cake. I want pie. Get out of here, cake, with your small dick.
It wasn't even that. I just didn't know what to do with it.
Yeah. Dude, what's his name again?
I'm not telling you.
Come on. What's his initials?
No.
Come on.
Nope.
We got to start beef. On my last podcast, I got this chick that start beef with Tech 9 with Strange Music. So we're going to start beef with this dude. Who is it? What's his name? No, I'm just kidding. All right. Can you hold court for like a minute? Why don't you pimp out your stuff or whatever you want? I got to use the restroom.
I can do that.
Almost every podcast I do this. I am unprofessional. I'm going to keep it like that. I've had a lot to drink. Not liquor, just liquid. I'll be back. Sorry.
It's okay. Well, like he said, my name's Kristen. I'm with Open the Doors Coaching. I have a website you can visit, openthedoorscoaching.com. You can also find me on social media, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. Like you said, I do a lot of Facebook Lives. I have some workshops coming up as well. October 26th, I will be hosting a breakout session at a workshop called Care for You Too. The Care for You Too is an all-day workshop for caregivers, volunteers, people who are out there in the caring fields, nurses, counselors, teachers, anyone who's out there who constantly puts other people ahead of themselves. It's an entire day retreat at HJ's Community Center in Brookside in Kansas City. And we are going to also have some CEUs. So any people in there who are needing their continuing education credits can come for that. But my breakout session is going to be about when you are caring for your partner and how intimacy can change, some of the things that you can do to help keep love, desire, physical intimacy alive, even when there's maybe been some changes when you're taking care of your loved one. What else I have coming up? You can go back and listen to some of my old podcasts. Must Love Fetish with Sweetly Sensual Sarah was one of my favorite ones that I did. I don't know what else to say to fill the time to kind of keep it going while he's gone. I have gotten halfway through your podcast, Robin, just to point out to you. Okay. Yeah, I've listened to.
Here's the man. He's back.
I filled as best as I could. I pimped out my workshop I've got coming up.
Okay, nice.
In October.
October what?
October 26th.
That's my birthday.
Is it?
Yeah.
It's an all-day workshop called Care for You Too. It's a retreat for caregivers, and I'm going to be running a breakout session that's about intimacy when you're caring for your partner. So, like if they're ill or
I saw something you post about that. Yeah, that's got to be difficult for people.
Yeah, I mean, I watched one of my family members go through that, taking care of my uncle, taking care of my aunt, and so I just think about whether it's a long-term illness or an injury or a permanent disability. There's still ways to keep love and desire going, even if there's like permanent changes or, things like that.
I never thought about that. That's something a lot of people would not think about, the sexual aspect of a major paralyzation type situation.
Yeah, or even just a long-term illness, like your partner has MS or Parkinson's or there's also a lot of things that come along with taking care of a partner that has things like Alzheimer's and dementia.
So would this be where you would advocate for legalized prostitution or something?
Well, thanks to FOSTA and SESTA, we can't advocate to wanting
that
kind of stuff.
I don't know.
That's that legislation I was talking about.
Yeah, so the last podcast you were talking about something about FOSTA and SESTA.
FOSTA and SESTA is a piece of legislation.
What does it stand for? I don't know.
Law. It was signed into law this year. It was basically intended to prevent sex trafficking.
It was signed into law.
Yes, it was signed into law. Remember when Craigslist personals went down? That's because of that law.
Yep.
So they're trying to police the internet, and here's the thing.
No.
Like Backpage.com, they were selling people. They should have been shut down. Plus, they went back and tried to delete the records of posts of people selling children. They needed to be shut down. But Craigslist Personals, on the other hand, was a great way for people who were cam girls, who were sex workers, or just people who wanted to hook up but they didn't want to use dating apps. Like the person that sponsored it is actually from Missouri. Her name's Ann Wagner, and she equates sex work to sex trafficking. She thinks that any kind of sex work that's out there, whether it's a cam girl or phone sex operator, things like that, that anyone who's participating in that kind of deviant behavior is innately just gonna do something that leads to sex trafficking.
Okay.
So and one thing is not like the other.
Right.
All right, just because someone wants to make some money by dancing naked on camera or giving a blowjob or whatever else,
doesn't mean they're shipping in people from other countries in here, selling them into sex slavery.
Exactly.
Giant difference. Exactly. How did that get passed?
Well, when you've got people who are giving testimony, the thing is, we need to do things to prevent sex trafficking. Absolutely. Right. There's nobody that doesn't want to prevent that. There's no one that does not want to prevent children from being taken off the streets on their way to school and sold into sex slavery. You know who's actually been doing really good? I have heard at fighting that you would probably not expect. Trump. That's the whole thing. FOSTA SESTA was what he signed into legislation. Yeah. So that's why people are giving him credit for that. That's why people are out there saying that, like,
Yeah.
oh, we've shut down all these sex trafficker websites. Well,
Has it helped, do you think?
The numbers that are out right now are showing that no, it's not really helping. Because again, the other thing is the law was written to be so broad and so vague and retroactive that it's not specific enough. Like, it's just like a big net that's going to catch everything. So really all they did was push some of these people who are trafficking people like further and further underground. There's plenty of dark web ways to do it. I mean, it's not they weren't really going after the actual problem, which is people who are they're going after the buyers rather than the sellers. But they think that the only way to get to the sellers is through the buyer. So if you eliminate the buyer, then if there can't be a seller.
Who's that?
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's not how it works. That's not how the free market works. You don't eliminate the buyer, you eliminate the seller if you want to make a change.
Right. There's I think it's a Thoreau quote. I see many men hacking at the branches of evil, but none striking the root. Right. And it kind of reminds me of...
That's exactly what it is.
Mm.
Yeah, so in the meantime, they're taking down...
So what do you mean you can't... So you
that's why I don't advertise right now.
Advertise what?
I don't advertise, like, I don't pay for ads. I don't... Because I worry that somebody could misinterpret what I do. I mean, I already have people that misinterpret what I do.
As sex work?
Yeah. I've already had someone on LinkedIn, of all things, message me. LinkedIn is a professional business networking site. I already had someone contact me on LinkedIn and tell me that he genuinely thought, based on my description of myself, that I was a prostitute. I shit you not.
Was that him being an asshole, or him having wishful thinking, or what? Or was this him?
I don't know. And I actually kind of said something to that effect in my response to him, because he tried to email me a couple of times back and forth. But I was like, "What do you want? Why did you reach out to me?" And he said, "Well, after I looked at your title on LinkedIn, I thought for certain you're a prostitute until I actually clicked on your profile, and then I looked through things and saw that you were legitimate, and then we had some business contacts and da-da-da. And by the end of it, he asked me to go to his paid networking group." And so I responded and said, "I'm not really sure what relationship and sex coach, entrepreneur, networker, connector, strengths furniture proponent, and baseball fanatic screams prostitute to you.
I wonder.
But you were either trying to joke, which was completely inappropriate, or you were being serious, and that's completely disgusting."
He was on the sneak tip hoping.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
That's what he was doing.
Let me joke and let me help.
Let's see what happens. Let's feel out a response here. Like we said a while ago, dudes are creeps.
Yeah, they can be.
Well, they are.
I try to not.
Not all of us, but I mean, dudes are creeps.
They can't. I can't help myself but say they can be, because I try to avoid blanket statements as best as I can.
I mean, it can be like...
It's hard.
It can be like one of those Afghan quilts that has some holes in it. You can throw the blanket on there, and just some people get through those holes. But yeah, dudes creeps.
Yeah.
I'm a dude. I'm gonna say it.
Okay.
I still... Yeah, whatever.
And women can be crazy. I'm a woman, so I can say
women can be crazy, sure.
But I actually saw something this morning that was like the question you need to ask back if a guy says, "Oh, she's crazy." To say, "Well, what bad thing did you do to her?"
I was gonna say, I've never had to really... I can't think of any
crazy.
crazy...
Ever had a woman go crazy on you?
I don't really think. I've had crazy moments where rage has ensued, and they had just a rageful moment. But I've never had a woman go crazy or psycho.
That means you're probably a pretty good dude and you treat women with respect then.
Let's
be real. A lot of the guys out there that you see, they're like, "Oh, she was crazy. All these exes I've had, they were crazy." Well.
Oh, if all of them are, then you crazy.
Right.
It's
exactly.
you.
It's them.
Yeah.
It's him. It's not them.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. So before I abruptly left us, we were on a road of Tinder and Bumble and social
What's
dating.
your age range?
Well, no, I thought we had actually forgotten about that question, and we were just kind of going on that whole, because I do
online
that.
Dating
the online dating thing I've messed around with at times.
It sucks. That's why I gave it all up.
It sucks, but it's also can be useful. For whatever you want.
I mean,
whatever you want.
I've had more good dates and great lays since I gave up online dating than I ever did with it.
You're a woman. I think
that there is simply a difference in how you approach the world.
It's I'm a busy guy.
I'm constantly meeting people. I am in situations where I'm always
There you
meeting
go.
new folks.
Okay, see.
So I'm able to just keep my head up, not down on my phone, and I'm looking around and looking and meeting people. I've met people on flights. I have met people while I've been traveling. I've met people at the coffee shop. I've met them, in line at a concert. So
Yeah. I don't have a whole lot of
I
time
have
to
met them
get.
through Instagram
Yeah.
or Facebook sometimes
You're
too.
right.
But
Yeah, I see. I'm more of a social or like the dating app type thing because I just have a lack of free time to do a whole
Mhm.
lot of socializing out there.
yeah, but how many good dates have you really had with it?
I've had a few. I've had quite a few.
Okay.
I've had some really good dates. I've met some cool people, and it just hasn't worked out for whatever reason. I mean, golly, I feel
Well,
like
let me ask, did either of you find yourselves really especially with the profiles, it's easy to put a lot of information on there or to read into things and
Yeah.
kind of decide whether or not this person and you have any chance in long terms. Like, oh, it might be fun for a couple of dates, but, we're so different, or, there's a reason that we would not work out in the long, but you still go ahead and try to have a couple dates and see how it'll go. And then you're like, nah, there's no point anyway, so see ya.
Yeah, I'll tell you, a lot of it is like location.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes it's just like I like you, you're cool. If you lived less than X amount of minutes away, but there's just a lot. I don't know. I don't want to get into a therapy session on Ryan here because we could go down that path, and I don't want to lay it all out there.
Mm-hmm.
Golly, why did I bring it up then, right?
I don't know, if you've got a really good connection with somebody, it shouldn't matter how far away they live unless it's
No, for real.
Well, and here's
yeah.
the thing too, so many of us want to jump right into let's have a relationship, especially divorced people want to jump
Not
kind
me.
of right into
Yeah.
well, but once they're with someone, a lot of people out there already attach themselves to that person too quickly. Like, I got to talk to them every day. I've got to
Right.
see them once a week. I've got to have sex with them, every week, whatever, rather than just kind of let the relationship blossom
Right.
and see what happens.
Yeah. I've done far less out and about connecting than I have the swiping way.
Mhm.
But I was gonna bring up the
reason I gave up online dating and why I feel
I understand.
vindicated
It's
in giving
awful.
it up
I
is
give it up all the time.
Well, there was actually a study that came out a few months after I gave it up. My friend was giving me a hard time. He's like, I think that you're just limiting yourself. I was like, I think this is really the best thing for me. There was a study that came out from a sociologist that was looking at people that dated exclusively online versus exclusively in person.
Mm-hmm.
And the people that dated just online would go out on a really good date and be like, that was fun. They were great, whatever. But there's got to be someone better. Keep on swiping.
Oh yeah, I could see why
Okay.
people would fall into that.
Versus people that only date people when they meet in person are like, you know what? It's not that often that you have a really good, genuine connection with
Yeah.
somebody.
Oh, that
and
makes
I
sense.
want to foster that.
Oh,
and
yeah,
keep
yeah.
going. And
That makes sense.
they
Totally.
put more weight into
Yeah.
having a good connection. Whereas these people online think, oh, these good connections
Yeah.
happen constantly.
Yeah.
And they really don't.
And they don't. They're just a connection
They-
because you both found each other attractive.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody's reading profiles.
I read profiles. When I
Women
did
read
it.
profiles.
Yeah.
Dudes, I don't.
That's why I help people with their dating, men mostly with
Yeah.
their dating profiles.
Oh, you help men with their
I
dating
do help men with
profiles.
their dating
I was
the
gonna
only
talk
people I
about
have
this.
ever helped with their dating profiles are men. I've never helped women.
Really?
I offer all
Oh.
the time, and they're like,
Let
shit,
me
though.
tell you something. Ladies, step your game up. There are some brutal profiles out there.
Let me hear it. I want to
They're
hear
just-
the worst of the worst.
There's I can do all different kinds of.
6 foot, swipe right.
Yeah, there's
left.
some
I see. I
where
don't remember which way you're supposed to fucking swipe because I haven't been on. for so
left is bad.
Left is bad.
Left is peace out. Right is let's hook up.
'Kay.
So one you get it's always. I'm not a PC guy.
How
I just
about
let
let's
it
do
flow.
this?
Oh,
Let's do this. You tell one terrible thing you've seen on profiles, and I'll tell one terrible thing I used to
Yeah.
see on profiles. Because it's really funny to hear what men are like. This is stupid.
Okay.
And what we're like, this is stupid.
All right.
So, you first.
there's so many.
Okay, I'll start then. Work hard, play hard. If you had that on your profile, fuck off.
As a dude,
Yes.
work hard, play hard. What does that mean? That means I'm just out to bang.
It means you're a party boy.
I
and
work
fuck
a lot
boy.
and a fuck. Now
Guess
that's
what?
a term.
Fuck
Hold on.
you. I work all the time too.
Hold on.
I've got my hustle going too. But work hard, play hard is just so passe, and it's a
It's a 90s
They're
thing,
all the
too.
time. It's on a lot of profiles around here.
Here's a term. You know terms. I'm not
Mm.
into this world like you. Fuck boy.
Fuck boy.
What I've seen it in her.
All he's good for
is
is
it
fucking.
Fuckboi?
Yeah, because he's a child, and all he's good. I mean, okay, not literally an underage.
What's a
person,
fuckboy?
but he acts like an asshole, and all he's good for is having sex with. Like, you're just gonna take him home, you're gonna bang him because he's gonna know what he's doing, but then you smack him on his ass and send him on his merry way.
Fuckboys don't mind that, right?
No.
Is that
No.
well? When I see it
I've
or
had a
hear
couple
it,
of those.
I hear it or
God,
see
I
it.
went in Louisville when I went for this like bachelorette party. It was kind of fun, but I literally he was like, "You got everything? Because you ain't coming back. Like, you got your keys, you got everything. Okay, bye." I slapped him on his ass and slammed the door in his face.
So
I also
when
met
I
him at a
hear
strip club. So.
when I hear that, I think it's being derogatory. Is
Slightly.
it? It is. But you
All he's
enjoyed
good
it.
for is fucking.
But why is that derogatory? That's a good thing.
I mean,
If that's what you're looking for.
they had their time and their place. It's, I guess, derogatory towards him.
It's-
but he's
it's-
probably like,
You know what that's like?
But maybe one day he'll get to the point where he's not okay with like, I don't want to just be a.
That's
fuckboy."
slut shaming. That's that's your version of slut shaming.
I don't think that. Okay, I'm not making fun of his promiscuity. I am
Okay.
simply saying he is nothing beyond. He's not a boyfriend material. He's not dating material. He is just for having sex with.
But
But I don't care how many women he goes out and sleeps with.
uh-huh.
That's different than slut shaming.
Is it if it's still derogatory if that's all he's good for? Because if you're slut shaming a chick that you're saying is a slut, you're
I don't
saying,
care
oh,
that-
she's good. I guess you're saying she just bangs a lot of dudes and that's bad.
Yes, it's
And
like
you're
they're
saying,
for
okay.
slut shaming is more about like the fact that you either participate in intercourse or the number of people
Yeah.
you participate in intercourse with.
Okay.
That's
Sure.
more what
It's
the
still
whole shaming
okay.
for being a slut is about.
Okay.
Whereas a fuckboy, the only shame is you are not worthy of taking you home after we are done.
And fuckboy says, I don't give a fuck. I just
Maybe
fuck.
they do. Maybe they don't.
I've known some fuckboys. Their motto. Let me come up with a good motto. I don't care if she got off. I got off. I'm good. I know I'm good in bed. I get off every time.
Mm-hmm.
That's a fuckboy.
Yeah, see, that one that keeps coming back, I feel like he's just a fuckboy because he's never cared about whether or not I get off. And I've told him that. Like, you've never helped me have an orgasm.
Yeah.
He's like, eh.
Who cares? I got mine.
Mm-hmm. Oh, and he tried to pull it. Oh, I want to help you have an orgasm. I'm like, then how come all these times we were together before you didn't try? Like, no.
Yeah.
And again, you've got a girlfriend. Be gone with you. Bye. So again, now it's your turn.
Okay. So you have to. I've been in the game for a hot minute, not super long, but I've been in the game for a minute, so
Mhm.
I've learned a thing or two.
Okay. You know how to watch for the red flags now.
Maybe. Yeah. Okay. Actually, I'm not PC. I don't care. Fat chicks. You know what fat chicks do with their profiles? Yep. The camera up top, and it's only cleavage up.
Yep.
Every-
the best bra
Yep.
possible.
Every single picture is bra up at the most. Yep. Every single time.
Mm-hmm.
And fat chicks be super pretty. Super
They
pretty.
did their makeup up.
Yeah, and you're
Mhm.
like, ooh, I can see. Yeah, all right, you rocking a real pretty face, girl. Let's hook up. Let's meet up. I can't wait to get a couple shots in you, girl. Let's go.
Did you not keep looking at their pictures?
You do, and every single picture is.
That's your red flag right there. It's
No.
This is.
As I said, I
Yeah.
learned that.
Yeah.
I had to learn that
Mhm.
the hard way.
Yep. Okay, the other thing, I know you're a hunter and a fisher. I don't want to see your dead animals in your profile.
I don't do that.
Thank you.
Nobody wants to see that.
Thank you. I
The people
appreciate
who want to see that will see it and seek it out. I have
it. Thank you.
a
Thank you,
platform for
seriously.
people to do that. Yeah.
It's your Instagram page, right?
I have a Instagram that's primarily hunting and
Mhm.
yeah, but it's not the Neanderthal one. It's a separate
Right.
one.
Right, your personal one.
And I don't even use that one hardly anymore because I'm more focused on the Instagram, the podcast one, which I don't even focus on that hard. I'm so bad at pimping myself.
Maybe I can teach you a thing or two.
I'm
I'm all about pimping myself out on social media.
yeah, I am all about being taught
And
things.
pimping others out. Like I said, I'm going to pimp this show out hardcore when
Yeah.
you
I mean,
post
this is all about pimping you, this whole
Mm.
podcast. I'm doing my best I can.
Thank you.
It's
I
not as many
appreciate that.
people as will see your stuff normally, but I'm doing my thing.
Yeah.
And when I do blow up,
Mhm.
I will
Mhm.
eventually.
As
I'm gonna
will
be
I,
so.
yeah.
I'm just blowing smoke.
We're
Who
both
knows?
building empires here.
They will come back and listen to my old
Mhm.
things, and they'll hear this and be like,
Mhm.
"Oh, that was one of the early."
Oh, when they
early
first
ones.
started podcasting together.
Yeah.
No, but it's your turn again, though. I said I don't want to see your dead animals. So
Okay.
What else do you not want to see on or what's the passe thing on a chick's dating profile?
You see the work hard, play hard in the chicks, like that version
Really?
of it. It's not work hard. Some of it is work hard, play hard. But a lot is like they're basically saying, I'm looking for a long-term relationship right now. If we match, we're good. Like their profile says, looking for LTR or not looking to hook up. Like they'll
Right.
say something that's kind of, it says, hey, I want one man, save me.
Mm-hmm.
I ain't trying to save a hoe. Isn't that a song?
Should be.
It is.
Is it?
There's some rap songs that I ain't trying to save a hoe. Them lyrics.
There's so many lyrics out there.
Some great ones. I've been
Do
thinking
love
of all the
them.
worst ones too lately because of this podcast.
Worse ones, like sexual ones.
Oh yeah, just
I listen to some of the dirtiest hip hop out there because it's dirty. Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you listen to that song I sent you, "Love Again" by Run the Jewels?
No,
Dude,
not yet.
it's all about sex, like dirty.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I-
like stick your tongue up in my ass.
Oh,
that kind of stuff.
man, they're
Yeah.
getting real dirty.
Uh-huh.
I was calling
'Cause
tossing your
there's-
salad.
There's two guys, Killer Mike and LP, and they do their verses, and then they have a chick. That's one of her lines.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know you probably then like Nicki Minaj, some of her
Mhm.
older stuff.
Oh yeah, it's
Whew.
dirty.
Real filthy.
Yeah, I like that dirty. I mean, I grew up on Salt and Pepper.
Okay.
And a lot of their older stuff, it
Yeah.
was a little bit more innuendo than what you get today.
I grew up
but-
on Two Live Crew and Too
Hell
Short.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
Too Short is
First time I heard
listened
"Give Me
to
That Nut," I was in love.
Yeah, Easy E. Hell
I love
yeah.
Eazy-E. Too
Yeah.
bad he died at age,
Yeah.
though.
Yep. Good old Easy. Give
Wrap
me
it
that
up.
that
That
nut.
nut.
Yeah.
You gotta wrap it up though, or you end up like Eazy-E.
Easy E.
That's why I did a condom review the other day.
Oh yeah. We got off that condom review. How
I feel
how
like
do you how do you do a condom review?
I
How did you do it?
got my little packet of condoms out that I take to my networking things.
Who gave
and I
them to
was
you,
talking
or
about-
did you go buy them?
Most of them I've gotten through like some of the things that I've been to, and like Good Samaritan Project gives out condom packets, so I kind of just like am redistributing those for those.
Okay.
They're fun because their little packets have 2 condoms, a tube of lube, and a breath mint.
Oh, nice.
How perfect. right?
Altoid.
Lifesaver. So, but there's a lot of volunteer organizations here in Kansas City that do give out protection. And so, yeah, I just was like, you got these fun ones they're actually called One condoms because they've got really fun cover art on them. I'm just going to get them out and show you.
Now, these are condoms that anyone can just get at the store, or are they like your reviews? You did like store purchased condoms, or? Hold on, she's digging through her little sex bag.
Here we go. So here's a female condom.
Oh my goodness.
So you feel it how it's got the ring in it.
Yep.
That's what keeps it outside on the vulva.
This chick's
the
got
outer
some
labia.
girth.
Well, I mean, think about
It's a big ring.
It's
I'm just kidding. I
it's
know.
gotta
I'm
be
being
for the
stupid.
dick to fit into it.
I know. I'm just screwing around.
I got a flavored one for blowjobs. It's banana flavored.
A banana.
I practiced how to put a condom on with my mouth at a sex conference I went to recently.
Does it taste
Like banana.
It tastes. Is it good?
I mean, I haven't tried the banana flavor yet. I've only tried the peppermint one.
Huh.
I got so if people are picky when I'm trying to give out condoms, I got like Lifestyles.
Oh, old school.
Those are classic condoms. These are One. They do like fun cover art. I don't have the ones
Oh,
that
cool.
I had on my video. This is supposed to be
Happy Pirate. That's good.
This one's called Vanish, the hyper thin condom. So it's their thin one from One. I don't think I have the condoms that I just typically use for myself in here. Let me see. Maybe I do.
Vanish. Oh, that's by one. Okay.
I use skin condoms by Lifestyles because
Okay.
they're polyisoprene. Polyisoprene. That's right. That's how you say it correctly. So they transfer heat better than latex. The reason why a lot of people don't like latex condoms is because they prevent heat transfer. So it
Okay.
reduces the amount of sensation that you have.
Oh.
So the polyisoprene transfers heat, so therefore it transfers sensation better. And they just don't smell. Like, I don't like the smell of latex condoms and how it just
They do have a smell.
Yeah, like
They
you walk
do.
out of the room and you walk back in and you're like,
Smells like sex in
yeah,
there.
it stinks like sex in here is a real thing.
It is.
Mm-hmm. never had that problem with skin condoms. The way I found skin condoms, I said this on my Facebook Live, was because I went to the internet and I Googled least smelly condoms.
Oh, nice.
And over again, it kept saying skin condoms are like the least smelly ones I've ever used before. And then I started listening to a podcast from a sex therapist, Sex with Emily, and she was always promoting skin condoms. And I was like, okay, I found the right ones. Never had a complaint. So, yeah.
Huh. So, again, how did you do the condom review?
I just got up. I set up my little like tripod like that and put my phone up. I have a little light. I don't know. When I got home from work, I still had my hair done and makeup looked nice. So it was 9:00 at night, and I'm trying to film like 2 things a night, whether it's an Instagram live or a Facebook live or something on Twitter.
Oh yeah, fun.
And then like a video that's just for my archives. So the other video that I filmed that I didn't post, but it's just going to be for me to have later for release, is about my weight loss journey. Because that is also something I coach people on, is health and weight loss.
Oh, you still do the weight loss stuff too?
Mm-hmm. Just because I think it can be a
part of
critical
life.
component of having a
And
healthy sex life too.
That's right. We got into that. Yeah.
Yeah. When you gain weight, it affects your libido. It affects your love life. So.
It is a big one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I was thinking about, like I said, I go off and on the Tinders of the world. And like I'll go on there and then I get exhausted because I don't like to text. Yeah. I hate texting.
I don't like texting either. I want to talk on the phone.
Yeah, and that's all Tinder, Bumble, whatever they are.
Here's the thing. It's one thing to meet someone and connect on a dating app.
Yeah.
Don't use that as your means of communication.
Right.
You should be trying to convert that person into a date as quickly as possible.
Okay.
So not this messaging constantly. If they don't want to have a 5 to 10 minute phone conversation within a week,
you got to do that.
Move on.
You got to do that.
How many times have you gone on a date and 45 minutes later, you're like, this was a waste of time?
Right. Oh, yeah.
Whereas if you just chat on the phone for 10, 15 minutes, you would have seen like there's no connection.
Oh,
there's
this
no reason
chick
for us
is
to
not,
meet.
my speed.
So I'm just not even going to bother,
Yeah.
wasting my time and money. Because right now, what's more valuable than your money is your time.
Oh.
Right?
There's not enough hours in the day.
Yeah.
There's just
So
not.
talk on the phone for 5 or 10 minutes. See how things go,
FaceTime if you
and
can,
then
so you don't get
yeah.
catfished.
Mm-hmm.
With another good word that we've produced.
Yeah, they're holding their phone up like they're kitten fishing. Kitten fishing is the.
What's the kitten fishing one again? You told me this before.
It's like catfishing's little sister. So it's just kind of like shining shit. I mean, you can still shine it up. Mythbusters have proven that, but you're still a pile of shit. Like you're just trying to make yourself look better than you really are. Not necessarily completely lying. It's kind of like Dwight Schrute saying that he is the assistant. Assistant regional manager when he really is the assistant to the regional manager.
Right.
That kind of stuff.
Okay.
Sorry, my earrings are kind of bothering me here.
No, yeah, sorry.
It's okay. These headphones. I have really tiny ears.
Oh, you do?
Very, very tiny ears. And these headphones fit like completely over. Ow. But they were like, get my earrings there. Sorry.
Sounds and feels good now, though.
So much better.
Yeah, it's so good right now.
Oh.
Do you feel that?
I do.
It feels good in your ear, doesn't it? Oh my gosh, it's so nice.
You have a good radio voice. I don't think I have a great radio voice.
I think you got a great radio voice. I hate my voice, and I really appreciate you saying that. That's nice. Yeah, my voice is what it is.
When I listen to recordings myself, I don't feel like that's how I sound in my head.
Oh yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Everybody's like that.
Is it?
Yeah, because you have your inner voice when you're projecting, you're hearing a distorted.
I feel shrill.
I don't know. To me,
I
it just
sound
feels
like
like
a little girl. Like sometimes I feel like I sound really young. Well, now that I'm 3 weeks into not smoking cigarettes. Yay.
Good job. Keep going.
It's definitely affected my voice.
Yeah.
It's a lot smokier. I can hear the ASMR kind of coming out in it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. We'll see if it goes back to sound like a little girl here in a few years after all the damage from the nicotine's worn off.
Okay, here's my thing. It might sound. Whatever. I think I would be interested. This is an idea I toyed around with, is helping dudes out with their Tinder profiles.
Mm-hmm.
But
send them my way.
Well, my version was going to be slightly different than yours.
Oh, really? More like Hitch, where you're like making a completely fake profile for him, and it is more like kitten fishing.
I don't know. No, but just like all right, dude, you're a disaster. I'm gonna hook you up, and then I'm gonna do all the conversating for you.
Oh yeah, I don't.
And then you're gonna get laid tonight.
Well, yeah, if you're just trying to get them laid.
That's what I'm
easy.
talking about. I mean, I'm in for the quick buck. I can do a
Okay.
quick turnaround.
So
Dude,
if,
I'm gonna get you.
if they just want to get laid, I'll send them to you.
Yeah.
If they want to actually find like
Yep.
love, they come to me.
It was just something I thought of. I was like, I wonder if I could do that. I wonder if that'd be an avenue that hasn't been pursued out there, trying to taking over dudes' accounts and getting them laid for them. I wonder. I honestly want to know if I could do it as
insincere and
no.
horrible.
I want to do it just to
No,
see
think
if
about,
I
like,
can
would
do
not
it.
I want to be the woman on the receiving end of that, where I show up, I'm like, oh my god, this guy was amazing.
Right,
And
well-
I'm like, who the fuck is this person that just showed up to this date? Like, you're not even like recalling anything we said.
Yeah, like I said, it was just it's more of a challenge to see if I could
Mhm.
do that too. Like, can I take the ugly duckling and turn him into something that he can? I don't know. It
Give
was
him
just
something to work with.
it was just a weird idea. Like, I wonder if there is a
Well, fixing people's dating
wonder if there's,
profiles is a good idea.
what is
but
that word? Is
leave-
there
leave it up
a
to, like, I won't say the professionals. I'll say just leave it up to me.
yeah? Is that out there in the atmosphere? You know what I mean? Is that an option for people?
Have paid me to modify their profiles.
Yeah.
yes.
I wonder what you would say at mine.
Well, I guess you have to show me.
Yeah, it's basically pictures of me,
Mhm.
obviously, of all different pictures, and then I say, what does my bio say? It says, let me just pull it up.
Okay.
Da, 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 da.
This is how it always starts.
What starts?
Guys try to be like, I'll slide back, like, I think my profile is really good. My pictures are good. And I might, let me
Okay.
just show it to you.
Oh, yeah.
I'm like, okay.
You can. There you go. Take a look at it.
Thanks. Okay.
We got to tell the people what you're looking at.
Okay. First one is you buy a KC mural.
Yep.
Okay. Second one is you clean shaven.
Yep.
Looking good with a cigar lit and cigars in your pocket. Third one is actually tasteful bathroom selfie because you're not taking it in the mirror.
I got a bathroom selfie?
Yeah, you're in front of your shower curtain.
That's not bathroom. Oh, I guess it is, but it's not. I'm not. That's not a real bathroom selfie.
Yeah, it's not. And then the fourth one is a taco.
Showing I can
So
cook.
no wonder you get all the fatties. No, I'm just kidding, I'm just kidding.
That's a homemade taco that looks bad. Doesn't
Dude,
that
I
taco look
remember you from my dating profile years. No, I'm just kidding.
that wasn't on there.
No, actually, I've seen this on several guys' profiles, so that's why I
Oh.
said that.
I'm gonna nix that one then.
And then you with a friend, a guy friend. Okay, and then you with your 2 kids, but it's their back, so you're not like giving away. And then you looking like a lumberjack next to a gigantic fiberglass lumberjack.
Yeah.
And then you doing your podcast thing here.
Oh, that's the Instagram
Actually,
thing.
I would say your pictures are all really good because you're telling people like you have kids, but you're also not like, here's my kids. You
Right.
know? The picture of you with a friend is you and a decently attractive man, but not a man that's more attractive than you.
Oh, thanks.
Okay.
What a great compliment. Suck it, Casey.
Because anytime, like, that's the risk you run. If you put a more attractive male friend, they're like, well, I don't like him, but hook me up with your friend.
Oh, I never thought about that.
I've thought that before when I've looked at guys' profiles.
Oh,
I don't
wow.
want you. Or the Where's Waldo, where the guy
Oh,
puts himself
that's
in with like
worse.
3 or 4
Yeah.
pictures with
Girls do that
other
too.
people. Yeah,
Where
girls do
all
that too.
their pictures
Yeah,
are
them
with
and
other
other-
people. I'm
Yeah,
trying to be
I'm not trying to figure
detective.
out who the same person is in each of these. Plus,
Yeah.
your hair color is different 3
Yeah.
times, and your facial hair is different for dudes. That's one thing that can really get people.
Yep.
I would say your pictures are good.
Check out the bio.
Can I read it?
Yeah, please.
I'm unemployed and live in my mom's basement. I mean, get in line, ladies. The whole package here.
That's it.
She lets me have girls over too.
Yep.
We just have to keep the door open.
Yep.
Okay. So, I mean, do you get the like haha kind of responses
All
to
the
your
time.
profile? Okay,
All the
yeah.
time. Some
'Cause
people are like, "Is
obviously-
that true?" I'm like, "Nah, come on."
Right.
That's my filter.
That's how you know if they've got a good sense of humor or
Yep.
not, right?
Yep.
So can we talk about when we met for coffee at the end
I don't know what you're talking about.
when you went downstairs?
Oh, yeah, we can talk about that. Go ahead.
And had a date.
Yeah.
So he
I-
meets me at 9
I
o'clock.
met you at 9:00 at a local coffee
yeah,
place.
so I could make sure you weren't a fucking creep.
I
or
was-
a weirdo.
I would shout them out, but I asked them to be on the podcast, and I've got no response. I've asked multiple times, so I'm not shouting them out.
Mhm.
Anyway, so we met for coffee at 9
Mhm.
o'clock, and because
Good conversation.
good conversation, and I was
Beautiful morning.
gorgeous out.
Yeah.
but I had set up a date for I think 10 or 10:30 something 10. And
so it's like 10:02. He's like, okay, well, I gotta let you go because I've got a date downstairs. So I'm like, okay, cool. So we get up.
I was
go
hoping that
to
at
hit
the beginning.
elevator.
I said beforehand I have a date at 10. I think.
Okay, yeah, I think you did. But
Yeah.
then like it was like 10:02, and you're like, okay, time to get
Yeah.
downstairs, whatever. And I joked like, well, hey, hopefully she believes you. This was just for business, otherwise. And you were like, well, fuck her if she doesn't. I was like, good, exactly, good attitude.
Yeah.
Because yeah, if she doesn't believe you off the bat, then fuck her. But yeah, that was another one. That you guys had matched a long time back, right?
Yeah.
And I've had that too, where you match along. It takes a while sometimes to actually meet up with somebody, and when you finally do, it's like a big fucking letdown.
Yeah, that was. What can you do? Sometimes they get past me.
I knew when I looked at her that you would walk away from that saying that you had a better time with me that day than you did with her. Sorry, just saying.
Yeah, it was whatever. Sometimes you strike out. What can you do?
Hey, but you know what? You put yourself out there. You went on the date. You gave her a shot, and it just
Yeah.
nothing there. But
And besides all that, we got a good podcast out of the deal
hell yeah,
and a story for the podcast.
absolutely.
Is there anything else you want to pimp before we get on out of here?
For any couples that might be listening out there, you can reach out to me to find out more details about a trip that I am planning for next fall for couples to go to a adult resort in Mexico.
Oh my!
Couples getaway, where myself and another sex coach will be doing an intimacy workshop throughout the week. It's not like we're gonna take up their whole day. It's just gonna be like an hour or two each day, and then they can go have fun and practice some of the homework that we give them.
Oh, nice.
Things like that. Also, again, the Care for You 2 seminar, it's coming up October 26th here in Kansas City. And, go to my Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, go to my website. You can take a look at my blogs.
Open the Doors Coaching. Oh, that's another thing we could get into real quick. I mean, I don't have to end it now. I'm on no time constraint.
Same.
You had a blog that was mentioning float labs, float tanks.
Yes.
Isolation
The
tanks.
sensory deprivation floats. Yes.
There's a place around here for
There's
that?
a few places around here. I went to Floating KC, which is down in Waldo. There's one north of the river too in Briarcliff.
Have you been to that one?
I have not, but I got a discount code for you if you want to go to Floating KC. So.
Okay.
Yeah. So put myself out there real quick. You can get on my email list, and I will send out like my blogs. I actually was planning on resharing this one because I've got all those discount codes to share, offers to share from them. You get into a big room that's filled with 1,000 gallons of salt water, and you float with no sound, no light. All you can really hear is like your own body. It's intended to help you get to the point of relaxation where the parasympathetic nervous system is activated, and that's when all those positive hormones and neurotransmitters start flushing through your body. Things like endorphins and norepinephrine and dopamine, all that stuff, oxytocin even. And that helps flush out all those negative neurotransmitters like cortisol and stress hormones. So I have been meditating for about 15 years, but I went through a lot in the last year and was having a lot of trouble focusing during my meditation.
Yeah.
And was coming up on something new was going to be fairly traumatic again for me to relive because I had to testify in a deposition. So I went and did the float to just kind of get my mind back to a good place because I wasn't feeling focused. I wasn't feeling very driven because I was just so stressed out about everything.
Yeah, stress is a mother. That will just eat and
I was starting
eat.
to shut down a little.
Yeah, it's crazy
and
what stress can do.
I can't afford to.
Yeah.
I cannot afford. I have got to keep hustling. I
Gotta
cannot
hustle.
afford to
Yeah,
shut
you
down.
gotta hustle.
Yeah. So I went to that float, and afterwards I just felt like things just kind of came back together for me, and I made it through the deposition. I've felt
really
good
helped
since.
out?
I want to go back again. I'm definitely going to keep doing it. But yeah, I would recommend it to anybody. But yeah, you can go to Floating KC. You can go to my website and look at that blog. And again, I'll be resharing that kind of on my social media soon that talks about that. But you can actually just reach out to them. There is a first time floating discount.
Oh, nice.
So I just tell them it's your first time. There's like a discount for military, first responders, and police officers, things like that. What else did they say they offer? Anyway, he's gonna send me an email that had like all the list of offers they have. So, but you can just go to Floating KC's website and reach out to them and see if they've got a discount that applies to you.
I've been looking for a place. I've heard so much and read so much about it. I've really been wanting to do that. Like I do some meditation here. I love doing it outside, with like at least my feet in the grass.
I do that a lot too when I meditate. springtime, that first time when I can get out and sit in the grass
Yeah.
in shorts
Yeah.
and just feel my hands and my feet in the grass. Yeah, because I like to just close my eyes and listen to everything that's going on around me when I meditate. Because that helps me let the thoughts go.
Okay, I like the frequency meditation. Have you heard of that?
Where you're
They have you can get pull stuff up on YouTube with just not, I don't want to say songs, but they're a frequency of noise and vibrations. And when you just meditate and just drift away and you have that going, it can give you some real intense visions and intense feelings, and it's colorful and bright. And
I already have colorful and bright meditation.
This will probably just amp it up. I'll get you hip to a couple different ones, and you can try it out. But you get some earbuds, and so that's all you hear, and just it's awesome. Yeah. Probably couldn't do that in a float tank, but I really want to go and
listening
check that
to the
out.
4 cycles of your own heartbeat, hearing all 4 of them is kind of a strange experience for the first time. And then your mind kind of starts playing tricks on you. Your eyes, like your cones and your rods, start trying to look for light where there is no light. Yeah. And then they just start firing, and then that creates almost like a firework burst.
Like when you press your eyes really hard sometimes when you do that, and you get those. Psh, psh.
Yep. It's kind of like that. Yeah. Then that goes away, and then you're just kind of left with silence. And some people say that they freak out at that silence, and then other people fall asleep.
Yeah. What a waste.
I fell asleep during an MRI this year, so I can meditate pretty heavily.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Those are loud.
Yeah.
Woo,
I
those
had
are loud.
Again, my love of Run the Jewels. I asked her to put Run the Jewels on my headphones.
Oh, nice.
The MRI, and then she tells you okay, first test is 3 minutes, second test is 4 minutes, and this one's 7. And then all of a sudden I heard okay, your test is over. And I'm kind of what?
Oh wow.
And I kind of jolted real quick, and I moved my feet, and then I rubbed them together, and she's like, were you sleeping? I think so.
Wow.
She's like, what did you hear for the last test number? I was 7. She's like, yeah, no, there was a 9-minute test.
Oh, wow.
I was I didn't hear shit.
Nice. That's some serious.
I was starting to kind of freak out because it was my head was in it.
Right.
And I do have some claustrophobia, but I just was focus on the music, just let go, just relax. You're going to be okay. Because I was having my lower back was having the MRI.
Yeah, I've had the same exact one. I've had a couple.
I busted my ass last year.
Oh yeah.
I literally busted my ass. I fractured my coccyx and sacrum last year.
Is that your tailbone?
I cracked my tailbone. I fell on a wet floor at work.
Ask any.
You want to talk about affecting your sex life? That's an injury that'll affect your sex life. Shit.
Would it?
Ugh.
Yeah.
Ugh.
For how long?
Yeah.
6 weeks? 8 weeks?
Months.
Oh boy.
Months.
Oh my.
There are still certain positions I'm nope.
Oh
nope,
yeah. Oh
no,
you poor
no.
thing. You poor
There's
thing.
certain things I can't do, as far as spanking and paddling, things like that. BDSM play that I've tried that I'm nope.
Just
no,
too
no,
much.
No,
Safe word. Safe word.
Jazz hands. That's what you do.
Jazz hands.
When you're tied up.
Nope. I've never been tied up or tied anybody up.
There's some clubs here in town that.
A club.
Clubs.
What's a
There's a BDSM club that I've been to here in town.
What does that entail? What exactly is a BDSM club?
They have a few dungeons. You do have to kind of be vetted to get in. It's a private club.
How do you find out about these? You just Google
as
BDSM
a sex coach,
Kansas
I sometimes
City?
have friends reach out to me and go, "Hey, guess what I do or what I'm involved in." I just had an old friend who we got together about something else, and then when we kind of got to talking about stuff. He said, would it be surprising to find out that I'm pretty heavily involved in the BDSM club here in town? I was like, no, not at all. It doesn't surprise me one bit.
Huh.
He just, I don't know. It was not shocking when he said that. And we've hung out a lot over the last year and built up some trust. Again, knowing him since he was 15, I was 14.
Oh, wow.
There's nothing sexual there, but yeah, I went to the club with him and let him kind of just beat on me. But we met beforehand and talked about what all I would allow him to use, especially with that injury. He didn't want to hurt me again. It wasn't about that. He wanted to put me in pain, but not that kind of pain.
Okay.
He's a sadist. I'm a switch and hadn't really got to play out much of my submissive side before. So he helped me with that. I mean, his girlfriend, or not, I shouldn't say girlfriend, but girl he's dating was there and saw the whole thing. It's a big open dungeon room in a warehouse. And, anyone that walked in could have watched. There's no getting involved in anyone else's scene. There's no, it's not like someone else is just going to randomly come up and do something.
Right.
There's
yeah.
never that.
I'm sure. Yeah.
So while it's open viewing, there's no open play like that. But yeah, he just kind of flogged me, whipped me, spanked me, did some other stuff, and then that was kind of it. Yeah.
That's what a club basically is. You go there to.
There's other things that other people
Sure.
do, play out different scenes.
Huh.
Yeah. Again, the medical fetish, they've got a spot where you can do that, but that's just one thing that I'm not.
Yeah,
I
you
can't
mentioned that
handle
earlier.
blood.
I don't know what a medical fetish is. I don't know that I want to know.
I do follow a dominatrix on Instagram named Betty Bondage. She's heavily into medical fetish, which I love her. She's rad. I've met her in person.
Is that like people that have a thing for crippled people or something?
No. I mean more like a lot of blood play or needles, hooks, piercings, kind of things like that. Like have you ever seen the penis that has like the piercings?
Oh God, I can't
sometimes
see
people
that
just
shit.
do like
that hurts
needles.
thinking about.
Breasts, and then they'd kind of like hold the ends of the needles and kind of like do things. Well, and there's blood coming out, and then they were like drawing in her blood on her own chest. Again, I'm having the reaction that you're having. Where I'm like, bleh! No, I don't do blood. There's a reason I was never going to be a doctor.
Oh man,
So,
that's just brutal.
For people that are into those things, there's
good
no
for
judgment.
them if that's
Good
what
for
you
them,
want to
exactly.
do. Knock
I
yourself
just
out,
have a
literally.
very visceral reaction to that kind of stuff, and I don't want a client or potential client to think that that's judgment. If I go like,
Right.
You're best off with a coach that's not going to want to throw up at the thought of blood.
Right. Someone that can handle that. I understand. Oh man. Yeah. Different strokes for different folks. Who am I to say what's you do whatever you want?
And
I don't care.
I went for my school to a seminar last year that is intended to kind of bombard you with imagery and exposure to different things that are
Kinda
probably outside.
desensitize you?
Exactly.
Sure.
And also just test and see like how you feel about things. We don't expect everyone that goes through our program to work with every population that's out there. Maybe
Right.
there's people who aren't going to feel comfortable working with transgender clients because they don't have many in their community. They don't know them, and they just don't feel like they have the resources, or they're just genuinely uncomfortable with it.
Sure.
I mean, there are Christian sex coaches out there, and that's okay. Like,
Yeah.
again, it's just find who you want to work with. And also, again, through that process, it was about how do you feel about it? Do you feel weird? Do you feel yucky? But why?
Yeah.
Because that was what I had to explore with the medical fetish, where I was like,
Yeah.
"Ugh, ugh, ugh," and it was literally just that visceral reaction. I did not mind a dominatrix who was taking a man's penis and like putting it onto a cactus.
Oh, I can't think about that. That hurts me. That hurts me. You saw
sure it
that?
does.
Oh my God. No, I
saw
don't
that.
want
I
to
also
think
saw
about
her
it.
like
No, I
put
don't.
a flaccid penis into a typewriter like bent thing, like then slap the thing down, like the old school typewriter where you slap the thing down on the paper, and then she started like typing on his dick.
That sounds kind of hot, actually. I wonder how many words you could spell on mine. All right. I don't want to leave on that fucking note. Holy shit. Give me something happy to think about before we cut out this thing. That's crazy to me. I don't like thinking about that stuff. Like I said, I'm visual, but in my head. And so I picture the cactus and stuff.
The best thing that happened in
wince.
that weekend was that I still want to try was there was this bodysuit video. Okay. So at first you just see these two people in these flesh tone. I shouldn't say flesh tone. They were cream colored bodysuits. And you couldn't really tell which one was the male, which one was the female at first. So it was very androgynous and kind of sexy that way. But, I mean, head to toe. Okay, remember in Lethal Weapon 2 with the head to toe condom?
No, I don't.
Okay, never mind. It was sort
It's
of
an obscure
reminiscent of that.
reference.
Yes, it is. Well, it was Priscilla Presley and whatever his name was wearing a head to toe condom because they were talking about safe sex. I just remember that being so ridiculous still to this day. Anyway. They're just like rubbing on each other and touching each other, and then they're trying to like kiss through the suits. I mean, they're thick. They're kind of like the Green Man suits.
Oh, okay,
Yeah,
gotcha.
But
flesh
colored.
colored.
Yes, but cream colored.
White people flesh colored.
That's why I tried to say cream colored
Sure.
because flesh tone has lots of variety. So just cream colored, and then they're kind of like jerking each other off. Or, she was rubbing his penis through it. You could tell, and he's
Okay.
like trying to like go down on her through the bodysuit, and all you see is like lots of places where they've like kissed and stuff, and the suit's starting to get wet. Well, then they start cutting holes like on where their hands are, so they could actually like touch something. And then start cutting
and
a hole,
feel it.
and then reach into the bodysuit. And feel it.
Okay.
And then they're cutting like holes over the breast so that he can play with her
Oh,
breast, and
keep
then a
going.
hole over the penis so she can actually suck his dick.
Yeah.
And then it's just like
Get it.
animalistic, like ripping
Yeah.
it off of each other. By that point, I was like, yeah.
There we
I looked at
go.
my friend, I was like, this is hot. She's like, I know. We've got to fucking try this. And by the end, like most of us were leaning forward in our seats, going like, "That was hot." And then all of a sudden, it abruptly cuts to another scene, and we're like, "Oh."
Oh, wow.
And I was like, "I need a break after that. That was really hot."
I need a cigarette.
Yeah. At that point, I did. But I was like, I have got to find some bodysuits.
There it is, everybody. Holla at your boy. You guys, this was Neander Talk Podcast. This was Open the Doors Coaching. Get at her for all of your sexual Not needs, that would be wrong, but your sexual help with your partner or your life coach, if you need something to just get over that hump and get somewhere, get at her.
Find me at Open the Doors Coaching or Open the Doors Casey on Twitter.
Yeah.
Happy to help.
Thank
Get
you.
on my email list. By the way, I have a not safe for work email list called the Dirty Bird. So
The
if you
Dirty
want
Bird.
something that's a little bit more risque, put your personal email address in there. But yeah, you can find me at opendoorscoaching.com and sign up for the email list.
Boom. There it is, everybody. Kristen, thank you very, very much.
Thank you for having me.
Yep. All right. Have a good one, guys. Hit stop streaming.
They're gonna talk, 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 Neandertalks.